Welcome to Exposure Events. In this video, we'll learn how to input and update scores into the system. There's two different accounts you can do this from. There's a director's account and a scorekeeper's account. A director's account is more laptop and desktop friendly. You can use your mobile device, but it's not as mobile friendly as a scorekeeper's account. First, let's talk about directors. So let's log into our director's account and click on our event name. Before we go into scores, I'm going to talk about linking up your Twitter and Facebook account. You can do this under global settings, and this can be done for all future events, or you can do it per event. I'm going to do under my event settings by clicking settings in the submenu and then a notification tab. You can see it says link Facebook page and link Twitter account. Click the link Twitter account, authorize app, and it was successful. Go back into that notification tab. You also have your championship tweet right here where you can activate and deactivate it. And what that does for the winning team is going to say the team name, division, the event name, and it's going to say champions for that game. Now let's go into our scores. I'm going to hit schedule in the submenu and then scores in the submenu. You can do this per division by going into the divisions in the submenu and then division name, and it's just going to list all the games for that division if you want to do it per division versus having all the games listed for you under the scores. You do have a date range where you can choose what date you want to update. If you want to have both days or all the days for your event, you can do a date range. I have a 2-day event, so it's just Sunday and Monday, and these are all my games for that event. You can also search up teams. If I type in Watson, all my Watson Gold games will pop up. So if you want to do it per team, you can do that as well. You can export this. There's different options here. The default, what that looks like when you open it in Google Sheets, is going to be the same thing, just in a grid system. So you have your ID number, your pool, the date, time, location, teams, and then you have your scores. The score sheets down at the bottom where it says score sheet page 1, page 2, you have 3 options. There's a venue court, date, time, and division. This does take time for it to get to you as it's being processed and then emailed to you, and then you can download it from there. It will be emailed to your director's contact or event contact, and you can always verify that email by clicking on it, and it'll say processing, and it'll tell you what email it's using. You can export this per certain games by clicking on them to highlight them. You can highlight them all, then uncheck certain ones. And let's talk about adding in a score. If you click on the plus button at the far right, you will have an update game on here where you can add in your score. You can forfeit a game. All it's going to show is a FW, so Henrietta Shooters will be F since I highlighted the F. But let's add a score in. So we'll do 35 and then do 30. You can add in game notes for certain games. I'm going to do overtime for this one. And then you can also add in uploads where you can do game photos, and then you can add in score sheets too if you want to do score sheets. So I'll just do that real quick. I'm going to title this score sheet and then add that in there. Hit save. If you go back into that by clicking on the box, you can also delete it or inactive it. Sorry. There's a communication center down the bottom. You can click on this if you don't want it to be sent through messages or Facebook. If you do, just make sure they're highlighted and click save. If we go into the actual game by clicking on the game ID, you have the option to add a video URL, and it's going to offer you the same option as the little box that appears when you hit the plus button. But if you hit upload to the top left in the submenu, you can see a list of your uploads that you've done. You can highlight them, hit actions. You can enable, disable, or delete them. You can add multiple ones by hitting the plus button. Let's add a game photo in here. Type in champions. And these photos and uploads and game notes, they'll be shown on the app, the widget, and your website. So click on that photo, hit save, and I'm going to show you what that looks like on the website. So go back to your event details page and click schedule. And I believe that was the 16 division. Yep, there's my Monday 16 division. You'll see these 2 buttons here. That one's going to be the game note. It says overtime, and then you can see the score sheet here. And let's talk about scorekeeper's account. You would have to add the user to the director's account. So let's go to users at the top. As you can see, I do have one scorekeeper account here. I can edit that or delete that by clicking delete and highlighting it. I can also go into it and make it active Let's add in a user, so hit plus user. I'm going to choose Scorekeeper as the role, and then let's type in a name. I'm just going to put test, add an email, a username, test25, and then you create the password. Hit save. You can add organizations to this or events. I'm going to add an event. You can do multiple events. I'm just going to do the one that we're working on, so test December, and I'm going to hit save. Now I'm going to log into my Scorekeeper's account to show you what that looks like. But let's go back to our user so you can see that it has been added. Okay, go into login. Type in my username, test. And this is what the page is going to look like for the Scorekeeper. If you type in events, a list of events will pop up. I have the one, so only the one will show. You can choose a date. I'm going to choose Monday, and I'm going to choose the Yum Center one for the venue. So you can see I do have some scores here. If I click update, they're going to have the same options where they have the communication, the uploads, the notes, and where they can add in the scores. Now the reason why this is more mobile friendly, if I was to minimize this page or adjust it, that's going to adjust itself to the page. And this is why it's more mobile friendly, because you can see it better on a mobile device versus having a director's account where you have all these other options and you have to slide back and forth. There is, when it comes to scores, it will be processed in the background, so there's going to be sometimes there's a delay when it comes to posting the scores to your Twitter and Facebook and being processed. There's also a way where you can text and update your scores via text message, but there's more into that, so you would have to go into a different article and video for that specific thing, because there's a lot more involved. But we do have articles and other videos for this in our support portal, and we do have a 24-hour chat. And that's it for our video. Thank you for watching.